Hey guys, welcome to the show today. So I got a serious question here regarding crops. Now, if you guys watched last Friday's video, I went in the back of my cornfield and it looks like it's pretty well gone. The birds have had their way with it, and it ain't looking too bad or too good back there. Now, my thought is the whole field like that? Is half the field like that? Well, today we're gonna find out. I got the brush hog hooked on here, and I'm going to kind of do my trails around that field and behind that field. And I'm going to cut my entryways into the soybeans. Might as well walk into them beans, guys, while I'm at it, because it wasn't the wildlife as much, but the weather kind of really put the hurting on that soybean field, guys. So let's assess. I got a little gasoline in the old 165 here, guys, so I think, and got some water. I'll save the good stuff for when I get back home. But guys, she's warm out today. Of course I'm wearing black because I'm an idiot. Let's go see what happens. Perfect. Just gonna wait for that to stop spinning. We're off to a good start already, guys. Okay, that's better. Let me just shut this down right here for now, guys. Let's walk out here a little bit. Well, as you can see right here, water laid here for a pretty considerable amount of time. And surprisingly, some of these are actually growing a few leaves back. Not all of them, but some of them. But I tell you what, friends, where the water wasn't laying, definitely no lack of beans there. Now, mind you, these are 30-inch rows. I would say they bushed out just right. They're about mid-belly heights. I know I'm not super tall, but that's not bad. Let's looks like they're a little higher over there. Definitely a little lower over there. Let me sacrifice a plant, see what we've got for. So here's an interesting one, guys. So see the bottom of this here, that's where the root was, right here. The root was actually growing into ground there. So a deer or something came along and stepped on this plant at some point in time, and it continued to grow right back around. Now, as far as pod count goes, 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. I got about 20 pods on this plant right now, but they're still, see these little guys here, there's still more pods to grow. So yeah, having beans that are this high is pretty cool, but if they only put 20 pods on, I guess it doesn't make any difference. So there's that. Let's kind of see if I can wander through here. See if I can get you as a closer look here. So, I mean, there's some definite pottage there. That actually looks, it actually looks fairly healthy, guys, from where I'm standing anyway. So, again, just the way the rain came in and screwed up my life, well, yeah, nothing I can do about that. At least, guys, for the most, I mean, they're trying to bounce back, so that's good. Now, granted, these aren't going to be amazing by any means, but at least they're putting some leaves on and some nodes and some whatnot, and they're trying to bounce back, so that's good. And when they do bounce back, boy, they bounce back nice. Look at, again, lots of pods down there, and it's putting pods all the way to the top, so that's a good sign. So that's what I'm dealing with right here, guys. Let's go hit the other driveway, because there's 2 drives into this field. Kind of see how stuff looks down the way here a little bit, and then we'll dive into that corn. I am pretty happy to see, for the most part, that, I mean, there's a couple of little tiny weeds there, but those are not going to amount to anything, not compared to these plants. So weed control, right on the money. Yeah, there's a big hole right there where there's nothing growing. It's just, I'll tell you what, friends, I was a lot more upset about 3 weeks ago walking out in this field when all that stuff was dead, and half of these beans were half the height they are now. It was kind of, I thought, man, the weather has done it for me this year. This untiled piece of ground this will be the year she puts the screws to me, because last year it wasn't so bad, at least as far as rain goes, but you just never know. You can't control what Mother Nature's gonna throw at you. Yeah, a couple pieces of drain tile out in this field, guys, and see what the whole thing would look like. This would be the best ground in town. Well, figuratively speaking. All right, onward. Let me give that thing a minute before I jump off here. Time to hydrate. Okay, that's better. Only takes a minute to just let that thing stop, guys. And, well, I ain't in that big a hurry, and I'd rather not have a chance of something terrible happening. So, just everything's kind of around the board here. There's giant beans there. Nothing here. Absolutely nothing there. Which this is famously a wet spot right here in this field. I did walk out here about, well, less than a week ago, so 5 days ago, and I was sinking in the mud out here still. Now you can see it's kind of cracked and doesn't necessarily look like I'll be sinking in it, but it's weird mud, guys. I can't really, actually you can see there's still moisture right there. I mean, there's a fresh deer track with moisture on it. There's moisture right there. So I mean, if we got another ½ inch of rain, this would be underwater immediately. But here's what it is. Nice drain tile, maybe 2 of them running right through here from one end to the other. Actually, yeah, look at all that. It's still pretty bad right here. So anyway, let's get out here to the business stuff here. I guess I gotta say, guys, aside from a few drown out spots, there's a big one out there. I'm not gonna wander out there too far. The rest of this field doesn't look too bad. How's me? Looks about the same. I got lots of pods forming, so that's good. No lack of height out here either. These beans are mighty tall. I'd have to say, guys, my 7,000 planter, even though I thought it put in way too many seeds, actually, I think it all worked out pretty good. This field has a nice, even amount of stand to it. Well, I don't know if you guys can hear that from here, but there is a prop type plane going over that I can't see, but I can hear it. Some of you guys are more familiar with your older school planes, like I think the F-84, the Thunder Screech. Kind of sounds like that. Huh, oh well. Been a lot of interesting planes going over this area in the last several days. When I was chisel plowing the field down the street here, there was a C-130 that come in just above the tree lines, took a hard bank toward the bay. He was going so fast I couldn't get my camera fired up fast enough to get him. So I felt bad about that, but, well, at least I got to see it. Well, here we are. Again, guys, nothing to get too excited about here. There's a thin wet spot, and it is, I mean, people have asked me, hey, can you put some ditches in here, put some trenches in here to cake, unfortunately, and the ditch I got over there I think is a little bit higher than this spot right here, so I could try, but I don't think it's going to do me any good. Yep, all out flat, and then just like someone turned on a switch, good beans again. Now I will say this, I mean, even the little ones, they're still putting pods on, so I guess I'll take that for what it's worth. Low spot right there. Now guys, let's go to the cornfield, the first entrance of the cornfield, because I can get in the back side of the field. I kind of want to see that area over there. That's where the deer like to hang out and munch on stuff. So let's get the 165 fired up, head on down that way, and we can inspect some corn and some beans from over there. Well, there, that driveway is now a little bit more accessible. Guys, before I get going into this corn, let's get into these beans here. Let's take care of one problem before we go diving into another. But, well, since we're on our way out here, so these ears haven't been, nope, take that back. There's one. That one's been banged up. These are maybe too immature, but oh, there's some smut. Cool. Hopefully it's the only one. Actually, I don't see any more out here, so that's pretty good. I already did what I said I wasn't going to do. Let's get into these beans here. So, okay. Not looking bad from where I'm standing here. But like I say, I got to walk out there because that's where the deer trouble was heaviest. But these all look fine. Plenty of pods. Plants look healthy. No water damage out here except for all that right there. It smells funny out here. Wonder if there's a bear out here. I've never been close enough to a bear, but I've heard people say that they smell really bad. And who am I to say that they might be wrong? Okay, yeah, there's definitely a watered out spot there and there. You guys, this whole field, you can see I could put a tile right through there. Problem solved there. Come down another 80, whatever, 100 feet, throw a tile in, run it all the way down right there. The wet spots in this field are consistent with each other from one end to the other. So I don't know if that's good or bad, lucky or unlucky, but it is what it is. So maybe the JT is gonna have to restore a tile plow sometime. I got a versatile. And it's, I mean, it's all in the name, versatile, so I could probably, you know, make that work. Okay, so now we're into the replanted deer-eaten corn, soybeans. They are definitely not tall. The deer are still munching away like crazy. But guys, overall, I gotta say, it's not as bad as I thought it would be. I figured, and I mean, they're really going to town on this stuff. There's not a square inch out here that doesn't have a deer track on it, so that's pretty cool. But at least there are some beans, and these beans are going to put on some pods. So I feel okay about that. Looking down the way, my stand looks perfectly fine. So this part here, I had some extra beans in my drill, and I just run the drill up here and back 3 times just to kind of touch in where the deer basically been munching it all off. And that was probably a good idea. I'm glad I did, because there'd be nothing standing here if I hadn't. But yeah, just look at this, guys. The deer just munch the tops of everything off, which, like I say, they're still putting on pods. I wish I had some block permits and I could just start blasting them, because I mean, the deer wouldn't be eating good anymore. But you know who would be eating good? Yep, this guy. Oh well. So I don't know, guys. Bushel per acre yield for this field. Any guesstimates? I'm going to guesstimate that out of this about 31 acres of field here, I probably lost 2 acres to wet. Maybe less, maybe more, but I would say 2 acres is a pretty good bet. So for the beans, that if they were all going to be that height, my fertilizer program was perfect. I mean, there's no question that the majority of this field would have gone 60 bushels. So I would say the majority goes 60, part of it goes 30, part of it goes 0. I don't know, maybe the field will average out to about 35 bushel. It's not 60, but I guess it's not 10 either, so 35 bushel will keep my bills paid, provided, well, let's rephrase that. 35 bushel would have made my bills paid if beans were still 10 bucks an acre, but we're not going to get into that. So, like I said, guys, maybe 1,000 bushels off this 30 acre field. That's kind of where I'm at right now. If I get 1,000 bushels off of here, that'll be what I expect. Well, let me rephrase that. That'll be what I hope for. So, all right, enough of this mess. Let's go look at that corn. Okay. I'm gonna head a few more rows in here and then head backwards. See if they're, just walk down, see what they're eating and what they're not eating. Okay, good thick area here. So ears are looking fine. And there's one. They've been poking at that one, poking at that one. They're poking at that one. Son of a gun, guys, they're basically getting about everything. And that's terrible. That is just, they haven't gotten them all yet, but this one isn't ready for them yet, so they're not going to bother with it. Yeah. Look at that bird crap everywhere. They are digging right in. And it looks like, doesn't matter where I'm at, they're just getting every single one of them. Cool. Oh, look at that one. This was a beautiful ear. Basically got her munched all to hell. Look at that. Man, that's terrible. That is very disheartening. Am I going in the right direction? So there we go. Now I can see some light. Okay. Utility pole. I'm going the right way. Okay. So guys, that stinks. I was kind of hoping that they weren't really attacking as much up here, you know, by the road, but it appears that they're just haven't hit it as hard yet because they haven't eaten everything in the back yet. Well, guys, I'm gonna bite the bullet here. Let's hop on the tractor and head around the block and down the wheat field and come in the back the other way, and it'll come as less of a shock when I'm combining nothing if I know it's not there already. Does that make sense? Makes sense to me. Here we go. Nature's taking over pretty quick. Well guys, this seems like good a place as any to park. Let's wander out here. So to give you an idea where we're at, there's the old fort. Soybean fields, this is the end of this cornfield on the soybean field side. Wheat field's way over there. So we walked in last week when I was working with the versatile chisel plow, and it was way over there. So now guys, back here, this is typically where the worst ground is on this entire farm. She's real sandy back here. Doesn't grow dung for soybeans, and as you can see by the corn stalks and the ears, I mean, it's not ideal back here. So let's wander in, see what it looks like. I don't think the birds have been doing too much back here yet, just because this corn is not as far along. I'm gonna get past my 16 outer rows here. Okay, into the open space back here. So yeah, they're digging in there. Digging in there. I mean, now, make no mistake, guys, this is not as bad as the corn on the other side of the field, which we'll go back and look at in case you didn't see last week's video. They're getting in there. Not terrible bad, but bad enough. Kind of an open spot where this is usually extremely wet right here. It's not as bad, but guys, again, it ain't gonna get better. That's the problem. Let me peel one back here. Let's see, what are we, 14 or 16 round? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 rounds. 16 be ideal, but 14, well, it is what it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. $43. So 14 by 43. Let's remember that. Depending on my stand, which right here, she's, you know what, I'm gonna throw that somewhere else. There's enough eating out here. I don't need it to eat more. So long and short of it, guys, this end isn't looking terrible, but there's still a lot of time for that to go worse. They haven't really hit that one bad, but they hit that one. They're digging in, but they're not digging in. Let's take a ride back to the other side of the field so I can give you an idea of what I'm talking about. This is the bad part, guys. This is really, really bad. Shut this thing down right here. Guys, the problem is this. Now, I don't know if it's because the wheat field was right over the other side of these trees, so the birds are just naturally way over here and decided corn was a good idea, but this is what I'm dealing with here. This is, I mean, 50% of that crop is gone, if not more. And it's not just a little bit. Oh, looks like there's raccoons in here. Excellent. They made a, good Lord, what a mess. Every single ear. Oh my God. Raccoons or a bear? I don't know, something sure got in here and made a heck of a mess. Holy smokes. They ate everything. Oh my goodness. It gets worse. This wasn't here the other day when I was here, so. Good gosh, guys. That is just awful. Oh man, they just did it everywhere too. There ain't gonna be any corn left here, guys. None. Look at all these ears. I mean, that's terrible. There's nothing here. There's zero things here. This is gonna be a waste of fuel to bring the combine out here in another 2 months. They're gonna have the whole thing flattened down and junk. Yeah, just every, oh geez, they even got it folded over so I can't get out. Bastards. That is awful. I mean, just awful. Tell you what, guys, I'd be farther ahead to fire up this brush hog and just run her. Just back out through there. Son of a gun, guys. Well, again, friends, I don't know. Out of this 30-acre field, I'm guessing 10 of it's just gone, just zero. 20 of it's gonna be 100 bushels. It ain't even gonna hardly pay the rent. That's okay, my crop insurance will kick in. It'll pay for itself and the rent, and then that'll be it. I won't have any money for me. Cool. Good thing I paid for all my seed and chemicals and fertilizer out of my pocket. That was a good investment. But guys, I think this might be the last year I plant corn. 2 years in a row, I get this. Absolutely disgusted by birds and whatever else. A lot more of whatever else this year too. Guys, it makes your hobby kind of shitty when it goes this poorly. Now, that being said, it is just a hobby. I'm not trying to support my family on this, but I sure don't want to throw money at it forever and have basically no return or less than return, because, well, that just doesn't make good financial sense, guys. I make more money working on tractors and selling them than I do working on corn and selling it. Oh well. I don't even know what to say at this point in time. I'm half tempted. Nope, can't do that. Can't destroy it till the crop insurance guy comes out here and appraises it, but look at that. Little buggers are right up in there in that tree. There's some more of them. There's 3 hawks. And guys, maybe this will be just, I don't know, like I said, out of this field. I've been farming this field for 5 years now, 6 years now. Every other year I have an okay crop in it. The first year I had soybeans, they were okay. The second year, Second year I had wheat out here, and the wheat actually did pretty good. I didn't expect the wheat to do as well as it did out in this crappy field. It actually went better than the wheat next door in the tile field did, so figure that one out. I had soybeans out here 2 other years. 1 year, everything in this field burned up because this is such light dirt in the back here. So the field went like 15 bushel the acre on soybeans. That's not a good way to make luck. And then last year the soybeans went like 38 bushel out here, so they were okay. But I don't know, guys, between the wildlife, the wild neighbors. Well, guys, at this point in time, there's nothing I can do. I just have to hurry up and wait for fall to get here, run my combine through here, get what I can get out of it, and I don't know. Do this one again next year, send it off to the next guy. Long and short of it, I'm just frustrated. I'm gonna go home and have a bunch of Coors Lights and not think about this for a while. I'm gonna work on my Optimus Primer because that brings me some joy. Taking something disgusting and making it awesome. Even if it's only gonna take 2 loads of corn out of here this year, that's still 2 loads of corn, that's still 2 trips to town in my big semi. Yeah, I like that. Take the good where you can get it, guys. That's the only place I'm gonna get any of it today. Thanks for watching, we'll see you next time. Trees, so the birds are just naturally way over here, and decided corn was a good idea. Somebody say bird damage.
Here's the drive.
Oh! Oh my God!
Did I hit the bird?
Amy,